Hello everybody, welcome back to more Ori Randomizer action. We are cruising through this Ori packed Saturday of 3 matches. Actually, this Ori weekend, we have 6 in total, and we are here for one of the hypest ones of the week. In the, the Sunken Glades corner, there are a lot of turtles, like many of them. I'm trying to keep counting them, but the number is just growing. In the Lost Grove corner, we have 2 adventurers who are just bizarrely running around doing some of the weirdest tricks I've ever seen. And in the third corner, which is the commentary corner, we have a man who's very clean and another man with a lot of flour and baking powder. It is the Covert Muffin. How are you doing?
Good. I'm feeling starchy as ever, clean. I honestly, to state that this is one of the most important matches of like the entire Swiss, if not the entire tournament, is like an understatement. Both Infinite Turtles and Bizarre Adventurers have been putting on absolute clinics. So like no surprise that they're up like 2-0 coming into this fight. So for people who are unfamiliar with this tournament or maybe are just joining us for the first time, this is the third round of 4 rounds of Swiss. So basically the folks who end up taking wins end up like facing each other. Maybe some teams have been taking losses, so they face each other. But like everybody with the same record ends up like facing off, right? So Infinite Turtles and Bizarre Adventurers have both won 2 matches so far. So in this third round, yeah, somebody's going to be taking a loss, somebody's going to be taking a win, going up in 3-0. And with only 2 rounds of Swiss left and only 4 teams that are going to be advancing to the brackets, this is definitely going to be a nail-biter for sure. I'm really looking forward to this, clean.
Yeah, same here, as we're going to give our runners just now 1 minute head start here to count us all down. And I just want to, as we get started into it, as we've been progressing through this tournament, and spotting the big plays that teams have been making to clinch those wins has really been kind of how they manage or when they decide to head to the left side, right? That's been a huge staple. And so now that we're in these types of matches, 2-0, they both put incredible stuff, both teams. So we're likely to see those left side early checks come from both sides. I wonder what is the next sort of edge that these teams will be looking to take over their opponent. Like, what's the next big advantage here? Because as we get to 2-0, the skill gap is getting very minimal here.
Yeah, especially like speedrunning a randomizer, right? It's like a sum of averages, right? Like your goal with optimizing a randomizer in terms of like routing is to lower your overall average. So every single seed that you actually end up playing like is going to be different, right? It's a randomizer. Locations are all the same, but the pickups that you actually end up finding could be potentially different. But here we go. We have our race screen underway. On the left is going to be Infinite Turtles with Infinite in the top left, TurtleRun in the bottom left. And then on the right side is going to be Bizarre Adventurers with Lifdoff in the top right and Sirius in the bottom right, with their respective trackers overlapping as well as their timers on their game screens themselves. GLHF, my friends, let's see how this randomizer falls.
Well, Muffin, I have already noticed one big thing. Our relicless locations are Grove, Grotto, Swamp. Every dungeon will be explored today.
Honestly, I couldn't hope for like a better seed than this, because optimizing finding relics is sort of like the name of the game, right? That's the thing that gates you from being able to start the final escape. But like actually getting that left side access, getting that dungeon access can be incredibly complex, right? But first pickup, Gumon Seal Shard, really nicely done. And the relic immediately in Glades. What? This is pretty wacky start. We still have no idea what actual skill, if not resource progression, is going to be, clean. But I'm hoping for a skill. I'm hoping for a teleporter.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this is the next big thing. A lot of the early areas that we're going to go to logically will be Grove, will be Grotto, will be Swamp.
Yeah.
So now what do? How do you value those areas that don't have a relic? But you still want to check them because they have a great amount of probability of holding a skill, maybe like Dash or one of the power skills.
And honestly, like the mid game is the most complex, right? Of like routing anything because you're getting so much information, right? You're tracking down that first power skill, all of those supplementary skills that you may end up finding, right? Is it going to be Sorrow, teleporter for left side access with like climb, charge, jump, or is it going to be something else? It does look like we might have a bit of a pause coming in because we do have a crash in the bottom right, bottom left, excuse me, from TurtleRun. So we're just waiting to see if the racers end up communicating. But yeah, we do see wall jump as our first bit of skill progression here. And will be interesting to see because, I mean, this is a pretty linear start clean overall, just simply because only a skill being the initial progression means that the runners are only going to have one area that they can actually end up going into, which is going to be Blackroot Burrows itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, we're definitely looking to maybe potentially have a restart here for Turtle's sake. We might get in contact with the other team.
Yeah, so a bit of a recap so far for the tournament itself is that in this round, we have 4 teams in total that have an overall score of 2-0 for the third round of Swiss, which is going to be Infinite Turtles and Bizarre Adventurers, who are going to be facing off today. And then tomorrow is going to be my own team, Team Storytime, as well as Scorched Stones, who are going to end up being facing off, right? So overall, in order to qualify for brackets, you need at least a score of 3-1, and which is why this weekend in particular is so exciting because we have also teams that are coming into the third round of Swiss with a score of 1-1, right? So, yep, on the screen here. So, the teams 1 and 2 have scores of 2-0, and then teams 3 through 5, as you see that left number just counting up, are all going to be coming into this round with a score of 1-1, which is very, very massive, right? So the teams that end up taking a loss with a score of 1-1 just don't qualify for brackets. They are no longer capable of getting a score point to be able to qualify for brackets. But the teams that actually end up walking away with a win in this round are going to be capable in round 4 if they do take another win for qualifying for brackets, right? So Twice the Baguette, free leaf emoji, Illogical Zone, Blind Wisps, Dust Force Enthusiasts, and Koo's Bird Bath is just absolutely massive to see how those matches. And indeed, 2 of those 1-1 matches actually have settled out, right? We do see Illogical Zone taking the win here today, as well as Koo's Bird Bath, which is Cleanfell's team, taking the win yesterday in order to be able to continue in that score point. So those teams are already decided to be 2-1, and they are hoping to be able to take that last win in round number 4 to be able to qualify for brackets. But still, we need to see how the Twice the Baguette and free leaf emoji are going to be settling out in their match, which I believe is going to be featured immediately after this match is going to be finished here today. But also, I mean, Team Storytime and Scorched Stones tomorrow. I mean, yes, I'm biased because I'm on Team Storytime, so I want to win. But that match is also yet to be decided, right? So who wins that match goes up 2-1, but then if somebody loses that match, they will be going down to a score point of 2-1, right? So that is a really, really massive influx point for the tournament itself. So all these matches are just so incredibly important. But also, honestly, Clean, I love that we're still having more matches, even if teams have taken 2 losses so far, right? So City Escape and Sincere Strawberry, 2 very impressive teams in all honesty. I'm so excited for that match. But then also always Ocarina of Uwu and the Lions. I am looking very much forward to see how they play, even though that they are at this point not capable of qualifying for the bracket stage itself.
Yeah, as we discussed like in the pre-shows, like these like last 2 weeks is kind of like their own little mini bracket, just how close and tight these matches, get to be thanks to our, Swiss format. And so yeah, hopefully just been should be getting some stuff set up now. Hopefully everyone should be ready up, and yes, should be good to go here in just a minute.
Yep, we set up a new race time for our runners. They are all aware, so they were able to pause play And we are going to be getting into the match, folks. Stay tuned. It's going to be starting in just under a minute. I am super excited to see how this goes. So, folks, we're just restarting the race. I believe we're going to be on the same seed, which basically just means that we are going to know the first 4 pickups, and the racers are all going to know those first 4 pickups, as well as the poison water swim. So just a very linear start to the seed overall, right? It's so weird to get that relic as well as a shard on the first 2 pickups, because you really don't know what is going to be the next progression when you initially start, right? Is it going to be 2 keystones at pickup 3 and 4? Is it going to be a skill? Is it going to be a teleporter? There's a lot of different ways that the map can actually end up opening up. And the seed itself just ended up deciding the most linear start possible, where everybody's just going to have to go into Blackroot Burrows to start, which is very slow area to clear, but it's also pretty comforting. But there we go. We are back on the race screen. Once again, Infinite Turtles on the left, Bizarre Adventurers on the right with their respective trackers and the names at the top of the game feed for the respective runners. GLHF, my friends.
GLHF indeed. Thank you for allowing us to, to talk some stuff out as we got the race back again. So yeah, reiterating again. So we already have a Glades relic, and we have none on the right side. We have Blackroot, I guess, and then we have Ginzo. So we discussed, hey, when are those teams going to make the play for the left side? It might be like immediate, as soon as possible.
Yeah,
find a
totally.
Dash, find a stomp, find a charge jump climb with a SAR TP. Any of those are going to be crucial here.
Yeah, so what's right side access, right? So we have a wall jump start, so there's a lot of different possibilities to get us access to the right side. But how long, right? How much do they dig on that right side to be able to track down that first, if not second power skill? Like, I'm sure that the runners would hope for power skills, but it's going to be interesting, right? Because you brought up an amazing point earlier. It's like, who is going to be the first to push for that left side? And oftentimes it's the first team that actually ends up tracking down that first power skill. But like, the relics are the thing that gate you from being able to start the final escape, but the skills are the thing that gate you from being able to get the relics. So it's going to be really fascinating. This mid game is probably going to be, it was like setting itself up to be one of the most complex and mind-numbing mid games that we could see in a seed so far in this tournament.
Yeah, and already probably both runners can be looking to potentially split up here as much as they could, but they might be forced, because we already know we have a wall jump start here, so likelihood to see just Blackroot for all 4 runners. But as soon as we get 2 keystones, I wouldn't reckon someone just immediate pops out and heads into Glades proper to start clearing through. And wall jump it's slow, but having interaction with walls is sometimes it's a little rated with all these like big power skills that we find ourselves always looking to find.
Yeah, I actually really like this play from Infinite Turtles. Turtle immediately on collecting wall jump just alt-R'd out immediately because they had the level up for that first ability point. They are going to have to farm for experience, but they are going to be the first ones to be able to check that orb pickup, which we don't have information of for our runners thus far. So Turtle with that vital information is going to be able to tell Infinite whether or not they should alt-R immediately, or if they should actually end up grabbing that orb pickup. So it's going to be interesting information-wise. I love that sort of like audible that they flew. So in the bottom left, I'm definitely keeping my eyes peeled because they ought to be the first ones to make it to the orb pickup.
Yeah, and also, each runner kind of trying to farm up some experience. We have a lot of, potential cutscenes we want to save, and okay.
Yeah.
Tough. These platforms are just so scary. Those spikes are just one hit, and there's our first keystone. So potential to have a second one show up here and just have a split right away.
Yeah, definitely going to be keeping that keystone, right? So like Glades access most often is grabbed by getting 2 keystones. Of course, like it could be like a Grove teleporter and then like Stomp or Blue Breakage to be able to go through the Charge Flame Tree area, but that's like the incredibly rare path that you hardly ever see. So definitely going to want to keep that keystone for all 4 of our runners, just in case that is the logical progression. But yep, like BRB is being Blackroot Burrows through and through. It's just incredibly linear, incredibly slow area, and there's really not much that can end up speeding it up. So just waiting to see what the next bit of progression is going to be.
Yeah, and I think, what do you think is kind of, for the oh my gosh, I can't speak. What I'm always excited about is what people are peering into what they're actually talking about at this very moment. So I think a lot of potential is, hey, where are we going to be splitting up, and what areas are going to be prioritized where? Because as we have a left side clear, we have people who say, hey, I might, teams might already have set in stone priority areas. There's one person that always goes to Misty, or there's one person that always goes to Valley. So I wonder if there's already kind of, potentially setting up where all these runners are going to go. As we found our second keystone up at the top of the roof, so we could see a split as soon as maybe we get the tree. We do need the Blackroot relic, so
right,
we're going to most likely just see them peer through here. As on the bottom right, as Sirius is heading through to find Stomp behind the Dash Crushers. Muffin, why is that so important?
So that's massive, because the majority of the paths that lead to the left side, or in the majority of the seeds, they require Stomp, right? There's just so many different ways to utilize Stomp in order to get to the left side, namely through Valley entry itself. And so with Stomp being gated there as well, the randomizer expects you to only be capable of getting that pickup with a skill known as Dash, which is one of the 3 most powerful skills in the entire randomizer. So Dash gating Stomp means that most likely left side access is also gated by Dash, thus increasing the probability that you're going to find Dash on the right side of the map, astronomically higher. I would be shocked if we didn't see an early Dash. Early ability cell on pickup 4. We have early Stomp that is gated by Dash. Yeah, I'm thinking lower BRB. I'm thinking absolutely all the skills, but liftoff in the top right forgot to do the lever glitch, maybe a little bit of race nerves. So yeah, there they go. They are doing the lever glitch now. So a little bit of an advantage here for Infinite Turtles in this sort of linear stretch of motions, but that's okay. It's still early game. There's still a lot of Ori, but yeah, where's Dash, Clean? Where is Dash indeed?
Oh man, it could just be right here in Glades. Maybe we head up to Charge Flame area. Maybe we head into just a little bit of Grotto, maybe in Lower Gumo. And that, kind of spells the tale of hey, Grotto's got a big probability of having something, but it does have a relic. So how do we prioritize those types of areas? We have a Sunstone Shard, so we've gotten 2 now. We've got 1 Gumon Seal and 1 Sunstone. So those are 2 shards for pretty easy, accessible areas here. And yeah, I think, as you said, getting the jitters out or getting the kind of race nerves, I feel linearly is kind of the hardest part, because there's no anywhere we can split off, nowhere we can branch off and do our own thing. It's just based on doing pure execution here in these little game with the wall jump, but we have to hopefully find something that can actually let us go to other parts of the map.
Okay, I do like this from Bizarre Adventurers. What Liftoff is doing is that they actually alt-R'd immediately back to Blackroot Burrows, right? Because Dash could still just be only on the right side of the map somewhere, so it isn't set in stone. So Liftoff going to be putting in the map stone, and this is the important thing. Oh, they are continuing into Glades. I would have loved to see somebody just make a play for Grotto, right? There is that Stomp Egg right there that they can end up stomping in order to be able to get into Gumo Hideout, which is kind of the lower half of the area known as Moon Grotto itself. But we still don't know technically what is right side progression. And with Stomp being gated by Dash, most likely what the right side progression is going to be Dash plus Stomp plus Wall Jump, which puts the right side into logic, but it also puts like Grenade into logic. So our runners are kind of keying into that and hoping to actually end up being able to track down that right side progression by going through Glades. But it could be some time before they actually end up tracking down Dash itself, but we'll have to see clean.
Yeah, this is only spelling more and more Dash. We found under the rock, the Razino rock, we found 41 experience, just 41 under the stompable rock there. And then Mapstone 2, which is, in Blackroot, just had an ability cell. This is spelling more and more potential here, as we have kind of a high five moment. We've got people in Spirit Caverns up in the top, both for Infinite and Liftoff here. We have how many? We got what? How many keystones? That might be just 2 keystones. So trying to figure out where we might be heading to next. We got a 3rd keystone there. So you might have to go down to wall jump loop to get your 4th keystone to actually open up Spirit Caverns.
Yeah, looks like it. So Infinite in the top left is going to be dropping down in order to progress on through, and we're probably going to see a similar path from Liftoff. Liftoff in the top right, nice tech using Stomp to be able to fall down a little bit quicker at each of these tiny little bends. It does save a tiny bit of time, even with that wind-up time for Stomp, because you just fall so incredibly fast after you Stomp itself. And yeah, nice tech there with being able to destroy all the hazards in their way with Stomp. Nice splash damage. But so far with shards, we've gotten 1 of each. 1 Water Vein shard, 1 Gumon Seal shard, 1 Sunstone shard. Sunstone shard we actually ended up tracking down in Boulder's Gate, but in the bottom right, Sirius is going to be the first one to be able to make that right side access clean. Very interesting play for them to just really push for the right side before tracking down that right side progression.
Yeah, had the Frogwet set up perfectly and said, hey, Liftoff, you can continue to clear on through, but I want to push right side. I want to get into Grotto. I want to get into Grove. The sooner we find those, key progression skills, the sooner we can, get out of the areas that don't have a relic and start chasing down the ones that do, as he's going to be setting up another kind of save anywhere here, one to leap him up from the bridge cutscene, jolting him up the air and getting access to the Water Vein. So kind of all we're going to see is, new pickups on Sirius's screen, as well as potentially soon we'll be seeing maybe on Infinites, who might actually take the 4 keystones up through Spirit Caverns.
Yeah, eyes in the bottom right. I think this next pickup could be big for Sirius. So in this fall here, right, with Dash, Wall Jump, and Stomp, could potentially be leading to it, and Turtle's going to come to it as well. It is a keystone, just a keystone so far. So Charge Flame Tree is looking really good right about now. Valiant Tree to me is oh boy, there it is. There's the big pickup itself. It is going to be none other than Clean Water. Clean Fell. I mean, as the ref and commentator, I'm not surprised to see Clean Water this early.
I mean, yeah. Before we had to make a new race time, the race time link had clean in the title. It did. If you look, so I don't know. You can't make this stuff up. It just the randomizer wants what it wants, and we're having Clean Water. And honestly, that's just a super nice pickup to have for doubles, not having any locked potential behind those big swims in Valley or Swamp or even Blackroot. And so I think that is just super nice, comfy. Item to have.
Indeed. Top left, Infinite, making the checks on Valley entry. This could be massive. It is Grove Teleporter. That is honestly a really nice find, because now Infinite can do the 30-second cutscene skip, but Infinite has to be so careful. They're on 1 health. Everything here is going to be a one-hit kill, and this climb is not easy. Not dropping a save, Infinite. Oh my goodness, you're going to give me a heart attack in the top left. Yeah, Infinite even pausing on each of these, but it's not over yet. I think they just barely avoided the explosive slime. Oh, God. Okay, Infinite is on 2 health, so this is a little bit more forgiving. But yeah. Taking some time to stomp the frog, and they're gonna kill the bird. I like this a lot, because in this jump, this is one of the most ridiculous jumps. Yeah. Infinite missing the coyote frames on walking off. I still can't believe this jump is in standard logic, because there, nice precise wall jump. They do get an ability cell, which is a very nice resource, but still no dash. Clean, where's Dash? Where did you put Dash?
It asked. The game it's messing with us so badly right now, man. We need the zoomy skill. Meanwhile, in the bottom left, Turtle did the kind of save drop into Grotto Vault and was rewarded with double jump. So that is very fascinating, and it's actually going to go for the kind of all skills, climbing up the kind of rock fall area, as well as Sirius will be following suit and getting that double jump. I'm looking at Liftoff and Infinite side. I want to see what's on this Charge Flame Tree.
Yeah, I mean, top left, top right? Just watch this, because it's where's Dash, right? We're waiting for that commentary moment. There it is! It's on Charge Flame Tree. Let's go!
There it is. Dash. I mean, the seed was spelling it for us. which is great to see, and also great for both, both runners getting, both teams getting dash around the same time. So not really a crazy advantage. They both, Turtle and Sirius, now know where the fastest skill in the game is, and I would be surprised. I mean, Sirius is, he's already bolting straight for it.
Clean, this is just so, folks, I cannot believe that I'm casting this in real time, because like these are two teams that could walk away with the tournament win, right? And it's just so incredibly close. Trading double jump finds around the same time, trading dash finds at like the same absolute time. Like, I know like this is a randomizer, but are these runners actually randomized themselves? Like, it seems like we're just recasting the same teams. On all 4 feeds. Like, this is just so incredibly good. I just cannot believe that the seed is shaping this way. And like dash, double jump, and wall jump is like one of my favorite skill sets to get early in a randomizer seed. It is so incredibly fun, so incredibly technical. There's so many different glitches as speedrunners that we can do in order to utilize dash, especially in order to be able to build height, be able to build horizontal distance, but then also to be able to break blue things, which is actually a very, very important thing with being able to clear out the randomizer. So we're not going to see sense today, folks. We are just going to see a cyan tree through and through on that ability screen.
Yeah, definitely going to be, tracking down a lot of health cells, ultra defense, so many great things, because, now they'll be looking for potential, verticality for, actually making the escape possible for these runners, as well as just having enough health to make it not even an issue on their mind. So now that we're kind of, tracking through, Sirius and Turtle, they're going for dash, lifdoff, and infinite. They're checking through Grotto now. So now at this point, crucial point, where is the next big skill, and where are they going to be prioritizing? We have a lot of new areas, lower Blackroot, heading into maybe Grove main, Grove proper, as well as Swamp Loop. So those are crucial moments.
Yeah, I want to see Upper Swamp Loop. I want to see Grove proper. I want to see Lower Blackroot Burrows. Like, Lower Blackroot Burrows, especially with the skill set, is oftentimes incredibly underestimated, because you're like, yeah, I never want to have to go to like Light Grenade Tree. I never want to have to like orphan specific pickups in that location without grenades. But it's like, there's a relic in Blackroot, right? There's not a relic in Swamp, right? There's not a relic in Grove. So like Lower Blackroot is 100% the next place that I would want to end up pushing after we get these grotto clears. But so far, as a quick update to the race, both of the teams end up tracking down Stomp, Double Jump, Wall Jump, and Dash, all respectively. They've more or less been doing the same exact checks, like through and through, but also we still have found some really nice stuff, right? 2 Gumon Seal shards, respectively, for both teams, as well as a Sunstone shard and a Water Vein shard. If I were to pick a team that was slightly in the lead, I would have to go with like Bizarre Adventurers, because they've done more checks. But yeah, in the top right, Liftoff. This is absolutely 1000% what I would want to see before Grove proper, before Upper Swamp Loop. They're just immediately beelining for Lower Blackroot Burrows. I love this.
A race is good when we're 17 minutes in, where it's like, yeah, this team's ahead by like a few seconds, like that's how you know this is a hype matchup to see. As now we got Sirius has got found dash, and Turtle will be following suit and just grabbing dash as well. And ooh, this is actually a crazy. So Sirius actually leveled the charge dash. It could head through Grove, through Spider Sack. This is a crazy interesting play.
Yeah, I like this from Sirius. I mean, like, the density isn't necessarily great, but they do have that 3 energy. So here in the bottom right, Sirius is setting up for an energy glitch. Nice! That is a frame-perfect trick. So entering the energy, the frame that you move away from the door, allows you to be able to get that energy stuck in there. So with only a max energy of 3, you can open that 4 energy door, and then there's, like, a mega energy to, like, fully refill your energy and give you a temporary battery. So Sirius just able to open the door. Nicely done. We're going to see what's on Progression Vault. It is a keystone. Okay, so not entirely massive, but I also like this from Sirius, not dropping the Spider Sack itself, but ends up finding Climb for their trouble. That is a nice skill, and potentially going to be a massive form of time save, but utilizing that rocket jump tech, there it is, building a lot of height off of that spider to grab an ability zone.
Awesome. And yeah, say the update for actual, where we are going logically. We found a 4th energy in Lower Blackroot, so that's Death Gauntlet for our runners. And so now we're going to be really entering these big areas. Ooh, finding a 2nd Water Vein shard in Sirius' side at Spider Lake. TurtleRun's already here in Grove main, so this is another great area. I love to see our runners is going for kind of a little bit of an all skills trick here with the double jump, wall jump, and that's 3. That's 3 in total from both teams.
Yeah, so we know that last water vein shard is going to be in Spider Pillar, so I would be very surprised if Sirius doesn't get it. Sirius in the bottom right doing some nice blind movement here. This is incredibly difficult to do if you haven't practiced it. Oh, Sirius taking a damage. They have to be careful, but finding Valley Teleporter in Iceless area, we did see that pickup from Turtle a little bit earlier, so nicely done from both the teams. But here, Turtle in the bottom left, are they going to go to Spire Pillars? Are they going to find that last water vein shard? And how late do our runners wait before they head into Ginso itself? But with Valley Teleporter, with Ginso access, right, there's a lot of areas that our runners can go to now.
Yeah, it's hard to say because, you can get to the tree, with this skill set in Ginso, but this isn't, we're not doing Force Trees here. We're doing World Tour. So if you have to go up through Ginso to find a skill, but then you have to go somewhere else. You might have to. The risk of a second revisit is pretty big there. So again, just more or less continuing to be so close in areas. Infinite and Liftoff being around the same place for, next to the Gumo Bridge, as well as Sirius and Turtle continuing. Oh, that's some interesting checks. Turtle going for the Butter Cell here, finding just a Mega Energy, and Sirius is doing a little bit of. Going for Ginso.
This call from Sirius is absolutely a top-notch call, right? We know that there's a relic in Ginso itself, and I believe they have extra double jump. Yeah, they do. They have extra double jump, which is a bonus item. So it's never in logic to do this. But with extra double jump, you can actually continue beyond Bash Tree. Beautiful telehops from Sirius to be able to get through. I'm really bad at those. And the Ginso relic is the second pickups. So how long does Sirius in the bottom right stay in Ginso? This could be massive for the race itself, Clean.
Yeah, that is just crazy because now it's like it's pushing you away. You're like, go somewhere else.
Yes.
You already found the relic here, but I must. Ginzo's so dense, especially in the second half. But I think with extra double jump, you could get up there. Yeah, with the triple jump there. Yeah. So very nice. That is a decision that is going to be really hard to make, and I'm definitely interested to see what it turns out to be.
Yeah, I just I love this Ginso play from Sirius, especially. It's very difficult to progress in Ginso with this skill set, but it's possible. It's possible, and Bash can be beyond the tree. In the top left, we do see Infinite also tracking down that extra double jump in that Death Gauntlet area. But Sirius taking down the mini boss. This is important. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, folks. Keystone. Experience. So Sirius is looking like they are going to check these pickups, and they put in the Keystones Clean, so they are intending to progress in Ginso Tree itself. They find an ability cell and experience. So what is going to be on Bash Tree? This could be massive for the race. It is Spear Light efficiency. That is nice. And Sirius is speccing into the purple tree Clean. Interesting choice, as they're going to find Glide. Glide is gated by Verticality and or Bash. So where's Charge Jump? Where's Bash Clean?
Wow, this is seems to be some insane developments. So yeah, double jump is not enough to get there, so we need a little bit more vertically. And yeah, I think with where Sirius is in the tree respectively, already still has 4 more ability cells as well as SLE. Yeah, at least just taking a small dip in the purple tree is not a bad idea. I don't disagree. There we go. Liftoff's getting the Valley TP as Infinite and Turtle are kind of just retrekking through Grove and Grotto proper.
Okay, bottom right-hand corner. This is massive because Bash can still be here within the seed itself. So Sirius is now traveling through Ginso. They find a keystone, but this climb is difficult. And guess how much health Sirius has? Yeah, they have the base health Clean, but okay, they don't necessarily find anything, but I believe they did miss one pickup?
Yeah, one pickup, the top right.
Okay, so that is actually something that could be massive, but definitely I have to put the advantage here into Bizarre Adventurers itself, as Sirius is going to be the first one to make it to the left side of the map.
Yep, and going for a kill plane stack to get access has a little bit of trouble here. This is a really tight dash glide that you need to do on the teleporter. But it'll allow Sirius to just kind of rocket jump up through the valley main area and stomp the Kuro rocks that we are able to do. So meanwhile, while Sirius is doing that, liftoff's checking through here, getting the shards that were just planted on through, while Turtle, oh my goodness, top left, infinite sound, charge jump in swamp loop. That's
it's almost certainly going to be like a Sorrow TP climb charge jump seed for left side access itself. So still no glide for Team Infinite Turtles. That was a massive find by Sirius as they find the Valley Relic. While the relics clean have been in such nice locations so far in this seed itself. But yeah, massive advantage here for Team Infinite Turtles with that charge jump. So how long does Bizarre Adventurers do these incredibly difficult paths to be able to get access? As Sirius is now on 0 energy. They are trying to do an incredibly difficult climb with triple jump. They just have to move to the right and be able to stomp the rocks a little bit. Oh, Sirius just pausing for a moment. They are contemplating the meaning of life as they are potentially seeing if they can actually end up finishing out. No, they're just waiting on energy regen to be able to get all the way up in order to break the rocks, right? We need an energy to be able to cast Charge Dash, which is an ability that we ended up speccing up in order to be able to turn Dash into a homing attack. So Sirius is just going to be hanging out, taking a quick little power nap before they are progressing through. As meanwhile, Liftoff in the top right does track down Charge Jump.
Yeah, now we need to see what happens on Sirius's side, because okay, nice, gets the rocket jump, just waited on. So there we go, didn't have to bail, go grab charge up and do it again. Can get the curl plane there, so very nicely done. And so another big thing is looking at the shard count, because Infinite already has now both a completed water vein and sunstone, so we'll be surely giving that information for his teammate Turtle. So now the big one last question is, where is the Gumon Steel Shards?
Yeah, indeed. I'm also thinking about Sorrow Teleporter at this point. Like, I'm really curious as to where it could be. Maybe lower Blackroot Burrows could potentially have it. Maybe Grenade is also going to be somewhere on the right side of the map, expecting them to go all the way down to Lost Grove for Sorrow Teleporter. Or just like something in between. There's still a lot of the map that our runners can end up being able to check with this skill set, especially with like Charge Jump showing itself on the map. We see Sirius in the bottom right absolutely just making a direct bullet for that Charge Jump pickup itself. I really like this play, but very, like, honestly, resource-starved seed. I mean, yeah, we do have 4 energy, but that's really not too much. But in the top right, wow, great communication from the teammates. Sirius just relayed that, hey, there's Glide in Ginso. Like, absolutely go and grab that. So Liftoff in the top right is absolutely making a beeline for Glide, as Infinite in the top left is making the first few checks on Horu Fields.
Yeah, Infinite's currently the only one who can actually head into Horu proper and is actually going to take the dip, at least to grab the teleport. I mean, we're going to need it at some point, right? We got to go here to finish out the game, as well as the Horu Relic. So we'll be getting the first few checks there, as Turtle, it looks like, will be the one entering the Ginso tree. So we'll be finding that glide. As you know, another thing is that Turtle can head up further with that charge jump than Sirius did.
Yeah, indeed. And Bash could be there. There's one pickup that Sirius ended up not checking that could potentially be Bash. I mean, like, Bash could be also further up in Ginso with Ginso Teleporter potentially on the field somewhere. But, like, this could be massive for Infinite Turtles, especially if Sirius needs to do that Ginso revisit itself. So we're going to end up seeing, I mean, both teams at this point have Charge Jump coming into Ginso tree itself. So bottom left, top right, absolutely going to be watching those screens as they progress. Sirius, for their troubles, also grabbing Wind Restored clean. And with that Valley access, they could just make a beeline immediately into Sorrow, and that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, they are.
Validation is Grenade. They just got Grenade jumps at Validation. That is 3 out of 3.
Yeah, okay, so without Bash, like, with this skill set, we can actually check every pickup on the map now. So this is absolutely Indiana Jones, but in the bottom right, Sirius tracking down Horu Teleporter. That saves them just about like under a minute from not doing Boulder Escape and Blackroot Burrows, potentially, because we know the relic is going to be in lower BRB itself for Blackroot Burrows. So that's really massive find from Sirius. They are not going to have to track down that Sunstone Shard in Boulder Escape. But oh my goodness, in the top left, just watch this, folks. Like, if Infinite is able to get this grenade jump, it's going to be really, really cool to watch. So normally you need Bash, and there's all these instant kill hazards. Infinite, first try grenade jump, able to get through all of those pillars. That is an incredibly precise angle, and for their troubles, they just find some experience. So they're going to be taking a death and continuing to search in Horu itself, opting for the door war.
Yeah, so stay the race. It looks like, you know, Bizarre Adventures is definitely taking the beat here for left side. They want to be all up in the left side areas. Sorrow, Valley, Misty, and Forlorn. And we're still tracking down that we have, yeah, 2 Gumon Steel Shards. We need either another one or the Forlorn Teleporter, and those could be, you know, we've already checked so many of right side areas. We, you know, maybe like Swamp proper, because that didn't have a relic, so no team prioritized that area, as well as, you know, an area like Misty, where Liftoff is heading for right now.
Yeah, Misty, a tough area to actually go through with the skill set, in all honesty. Like, we do have Glide, we do have Double Jump for that air retention, which is absolutely massive, but no Bash going to Misty is, like, really, really scary. So Liftoff could do everything in Misty except for the grenade-gated pickup. But it's like incredibly difficult, especially being so low on health, so low on energy. They're going to have to like ration their resources in a really, really difficult manner. So impressive stuff so far from Liftoff. We're going to see how deep they end up having to go into Misty. But honestly, if the relic is grenade gated, this would bring like Infinite Turtles back into a clear lead for the seed itself. But so far, Bizarre Adventurers is looking really good with all of the left side checks that they have been doing so far. But Turtle in the bottom left is going to be continuing on in Ginso. What is going to be that last pickup? Clean, I need to know. I need to see it. That top right keystone that we don't have that info on. It's just a keystone. Okay, so yeah, Turtle is just going to Altar immediately and decide where they want to head next.
Yeah, this Horu play from Infit is such an interesting decision. I wonder, you know, what caused him to say, I feel like I need to make this play potentially just with all those Sunstone Shards just being in kind of not too obtuse locations and then tracking down that grenade. Yeah, if something like Misty Grenade is where the Misty Relic is, that's a big advantage. We do see Sirius in here, so might be getting their grenade just about now. So Sirius will be like, this is quite an interesting spot for this.
Yeah, this is honestly massive for the state of the race. As Sirius grabs grenade, this means that Sirius now has that information, right? They have cleared both hardlock pickups, so they know that they are in hardcore Indiana Jones mode. All they need are the relics in order to be able to finish out. So we're going to see exactly what Sirius does as they get a bit of climb storage. That's really funny. And then they are going to also be continuing on in Horu. I do like this play. I mean, we do know that there is a relic in Horu. So just the clears in here are all incredibly reasonable, right? They are all actually, in all honesty, in logic, if they were able to finish out a Sunstone. And so far, so nothing in Horu besides that grenade. But wow, the relic is in a really nice spot. It's just on the R3 completion.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting one for them. You know, that's one of the rooms that's kind of a little forgiving without Bash. You just kind of climb up that little elevator pillar. And so now with Horu out of the way, it's looking like, you know, Team Infinite Turtles is going to be now heading for the left side. And this is where you could say that Bizarre Adventures had a little bit of that advantage because they were the ones to really trek into the left side first. Already have the Sorrow Relic, which was in the Dorito Caverns. And then, you know, Liftoff's already, you know, in the second half of Misty.
Yeah, in previous tournaments, especially for the randomizer, we've kind of quantified an idea. That is, like, the further along you are on the objective means the more time you buy yourself to be able to dig late game if you actually need something extra. And we call that a tree vantage. So, like, here, definitely if I was going to give some sort of advantage, I would absolutely have to give a relic advantage over to Team Bizarre Adventurers. They've done so much of the left side of the map, but Liftoff in the top right, excuse me. This is probably absolutely massive for the state of the race. because Bizarre Adventurers is so far ahead on the checks on the left side of the map, they are running out of nice pickups for that left side. Not only that, but there's this one pickup, which is incredibly difficult to get access to with the skill set that Liftoff has. But there's a grenade-gated pickup. Liftoff doesn't have a grenade. But then also, there is going to be the final pickup, which is the Gumon Seal itself. But Clean, look in the very top right of your screen. Is that number greater than 4? No, it's not. Liftoff does not have enough keystones to be able to get to Gumon Seal.
Oh my goodness, it's just such a catastrophic sequence of pickups. You either have this one, which is so tough to get with this skill set, one that's locked by a skill you don't have, or you pray that this one is a keystone so you can actually get to the Gumon Seal. We'll have to wait and see, as Turtle is going for his grenade, as well as Infinite's trekking through, so they're kind of swapping places there with what each team has already looked through, as well as Sirius is leveling up now so heavily into the purple tree.
Yeah, how long is Liftoff going to spend on this pickup? No, they're bailing. They're going immediately back to Valley. I like this. I like this call from Liftoff. They didn't have climb. They didn't have grenade. So the sequence of like ability to be able to get access to that pickup is like incredibly difficult. It is possible with Liftoff's skill set. It's just unbelievably precise what you actually have to end up doing in order to be able to get to that pickup. So Sirius instead is going to be taking the dip into Misty, utilizing that grenade jump tech to be able to zoom all the way through Misty in a very fast fashion because their teammate has let them know that, yeah, the relic's buried in Misty. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side of your screen, we see Turtle making their way through Valley. They do also have grenade jumps as Sirius does, as Infinite is now going to be working through Ginso in the top left in order to be able to get access to that glide pickup.
Yeah, just some beautiful movement and grenade jumps from kind of more or less everyone besides Liftoff at the moment, who does not. And this movement through Misty, at least for Sirius' side, has just been such a nice trip already at the climb tree. So just, yeah, for one last, state of the race here. So we've seen every relic except for Forlorn Relic and Misty, and then we also need one more Gumon Seal or Forlorn TP on anyone's side to get access to it.
I think that's what Infinite Turtle needs. Like they need that Gumon Seal find. They need that teleporter in order to really, really come back into this race. Because like they're just now starting the left side of the map, whereas like Bizarre Adventurers have been on the left side for like over 10 minutes at this point. So this could be really important, right? In order to be able to track down that last shard to be able to get access to the dungeon. Because yeah, we can't like do any shenanigans to get access to Forlorn Ruins in other ways. We have to either go through the door or take the teleporter. So where that last shard, or potentially where Forlorn Teleporter is, could just really decide, honestly, who ends up walking away with the win. And Clean, this late in Swiss, both of the teams are 2-0. A win here would almost guarantee qualification to brackets. This match is super important for both of our teams.
Yeah, you said it. This is, both runners will have another chance in week 4, but this one is just setting the edge and setting the precedent. It's like, hey, we're going to take that first dip into potentially qualifying for brackets. As on the bottom right, Sirius that one's not the pickup, and Sirius does have enough keystones as well as grenades, so can check these last two to see how far in Misty that we need to go. Do we need to go all the way for our Gumon Seal check, or is it just me right here at this grenade pickup?
Yeah, in the top left too. I like this from Infinite, like lower Blackroot Burrows, right? Grenade, clean water. They can do all of Blackroot Burrows at this point. Just putting it off is just like kind of like silly to do at this point in order to be able to track down that relic. So really nice play from Infinite. I like this a lot. Going to like Grenade Tree, and there it is. There's the relic itself. I do not believe Bizarre Adventurers have made that progress through BRB thus far. So nice little advantage there. Oh no, they have. I see the relic now in Liftoff screen, right? Is that
one? Yeah. So Liftoff has it, but Sirius does not. But they both have now. Both teams have knowledge of that relic respectively.
Yeah.
But that's also interesting because man, I feel like there's a lot of arrows pointing us to Lost Grove, in lower Blackroot, but now we're not really pointing in that direction. As now Infinite finds the Horror TP, unfortunately already made the trek there, so isn't really rewarded. Oh, Turtle found the Forlorn Teleporter.
That is massive. Finding the Forlorn Teleporter there is really big. So, I mean, Team Bizarre Adventurers have already found the relic, Clean, right? It was in the bottom of Valley proper. And so they may just not find that. So if there's any way that Infinite Turtles could be walking away with the win, it was tracking down that one pickup. So that is the final notch that our runners need to be able to progress through, right? We so low on health for Turtle, only 3 health, but still just finding that could be really, really massive for the sake of the race. I cannot understate that enough. That pickup could decide who walks away with 3-0 today.
Yeah, so Turtle's conveying that information to Infinite, and I think Turtle does need one more shard, I believe, to gain access, but now Infinite can be the first, potentially, to dip into Forlorn. Is also looking through Sorrow. Unfortunately, he's doing the lower check, so is not going to be able to get to it right away, because it is, takes a little bit of a death there. Is sent back to Valley Main, and we'll have to see when Infinite heads up to Dorito Caverns, as that's where we know the Sorrow Relic is going to be located.
Yeah, Liftoff also doing some checks in Sorrow itself. Like, they do have that information as to where the relic is, and I believe they have collected it themselves. But no, they are going to be dipping back out of Sorrow in order to be able to enter Misty once again, I believe, in order to be able to get that relic, which we know is on the Gumon Seal event location itself. So, poetic, very, very much so. But Infinite on the top left is going to be doing some checks on the left side. This is, I do like this play, honestly, as Infinite. I know the relic isn't going to be over here, but the lower left side of Sorrow has like the highest density and like honestly like some of the fastest checks that you can make that are all really close to each other. This one area in particular with Glide, they can just glide up. And there's 5 pickups right in this location. Infinite, of course, is going to know that they do not find the relic here, but it just has a very, very nice exit point as well if they want to be able to utilize that charge dash check. No, they're going to opt to end up taking back to Valley Teleporter. We're going to see where they go. But in the bottom left, there it is. Forlorn Teleporter activated. Turtle now has access to Forlorn Ruins.
Yep, you said it. So now, while we do see Liftoff in Sirius on Bizarre Adventures having that, quote unquote, relic advantage, there's a timer because now they do not have Forlorn access quite yet, and while Infinite and Turtle do. So they are just purely going go, go, go for the relics, while Liftoff and Sirius have to dig. So the question remains, how long could they get to find that TP, or just another Gumon Seal that just happens to be around the map, as we see Sirius heading into Forlorn Approach. Might, get lucked out here, just find a relic, a Gumon Seal shard just right here. Is sensing something, I believe, because did level up all the way. And that's just another Sunstone shard.
Yeah, quantifiably, Bizarre Adventurers, they're in the lead. They've gotten and cleared a lot more relics overall compared to their opponents. But that one access, right, that last dungeon, Forlorn Ruins, it literally could be the choke point that stops Bizarre Adventurers from walking away from a win. Infinite also in the top left able to track down the Sorrow Relic, so they're absolutely going to be sending that information over as Turtle runs. In the bottom left is going to be the first runner out of our 4 contestants today that is going to be accessing Forlorn Ruins. So Infinite Turtles not out of it yet, but Queen, they have a long way to go before they are going to catch up on the relic count compared to Bizarre Adventurers.
There's our Forlorn Relic, just sitting right there near the 3rd keystone. So they have done Forlorn. So my big eyes is right now, where are Bizarre Adventures going to search? Where do they think they could find the densest areas that they haven't checked to potentially find a 3rd Gumon Seal shard? As we're seeing Liftoff, checking back through to grab the Misty Relic, as well as Sirius is now looking, it looks like, in Horror Fields to see where that shard is.
Yeah, I liked what Sirius did routing-wise. They actually checked stuff at Lower Valley on the way to Forlorn, because if they just found the 3rd Gumon Seal shard, then, hey, they're right next to the entrance itself. Of course, we know that Forlorn access was actually ended up being just Forlorn Teleporter for our Team Infinite Turtles. That could have been a really big play, but no, there it is! There is the last Gumon Seal shard for Bizarre Adventurers. It is in Horror Fields itself. So that's it. Sirius says, I am now go mode. I'm going to go directly for Forlorn. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm just immediately going to head down towards that door. Yes, it's slower access than having Forlorn teleporter itself, but that is massive. So now Infinite Turtles is on the clock, and they still have so much left of Misty that they have to end up checking before they find out that the relic is going to be on Gumon Seal itself. As Sirius is on the precipice for saying, yes, I am now going to finish out the seed as the first runner to be able to cross that finish line. This is looking like a clear win for Bizarre Adventurers. What a race, Clean.
Yeah, this has been so insane. I mean, Infinite Turtles has knowledge of every relic except for Misty, and they're going to learn, as they're both doing it at the exact same time, that it's just right here, right at the end. So, as we're seeing, both runners on each side, Infinite Turtle having a little bit of trouble with the grenade jumps here. These are quite, really kind of interesting spot grenade jumps to launch here. These are kind of really fun. As maybe, Muffin, you've popularized in the what's 20 seconds route that you're all too familiar with.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Grenade jumps are very, very fun, and very impressive that TurtleRun has been doing manual grenade jumps, not using that accessibility/approachability feature that has been brought into the randomizer itself. So very impressive stuff. Each one of those that TurtleRun is doing is indeed a frame-perfect trick. And meanwhile, in the top right, Liftoff is making a direct beeline for that Gumon Seal shard, and with just the last relic that they need as a team is going to be that Forlorn. Of course, Liftoff also still needs to go and track down that Horu relic, which was in R3 on the right side of Mount Horu itself. But Sirius doing very nice clears as they are now approaching the last relic they need before they are going to be starting the final escape. So they are just mere minutes away from being able to finish out the seed itself.
Yeah, so we've got a bashless escape, but we do have, some lovely grenade jumps to counter with. Only has about 7 health, so I don't know. With the sense, did Sirius get all the way ultra defense? I'm not entirely sure. So might be able to just take 1 hit of damage boosting potentially, or maybe not able to take any at all. We'll have to see, as Sirius will be the first one starting up the escape, going for the classic door warp here, and is not going to be able to get it in the first try. That's okay. Door warp is hard.
Yeah, the absolute story of the seed was like the stomp being gated by dash, and like tracking down that early in logic dash pickup was just absolutely massive. And then being able to work through the mid game, Team Bizarre Adventurers absolutely taking a lead early on by just going to the left side and continuing to track down relics ahead of their opponent. It made Infinite Turtles really have to clear a lot more and try and claw back to be able to catch up with that relic advantage. Then finding that Forlorn teleporter was massive for Team Infinite Turtles, but Bizarre Adventurers were able to track down that third Gumon Seal shard and be able to claw back. But here it is, bottom right, Sirius now working through the final escape. They do not have bash, but they have grenade jumps and pretty much everything else. So now Sirius going to be setting up for a grenade jump. Nicely done, able to beat out that lava flow, breaking the wall with a charge dash. Nice grenade jump as well to be able to double jump through and using dash to great effect to be able to work through. This is it, the final screen for Sirius. Are they going to be able to finish out the seed as their teammate is in Forlorn Ruins to be able to clear through? They're throwing in 1 grenade jump, throwing in 2 grenade jumps, and setting up for the final one. Is Sirius able to do it? They are! First try. Sirius is going to be the first one to finish out and putting their team in advantage, but Liftoff still has to finish the seed to be able to walk away. But this is spelling a 3-0 victory for Bizarre Adventurers. Let's go, dude.
Insanely well done. Very well done. That was a clinic of an escape right there. So Liftoff now has 7, has to go to Horu, go to R3 just to track down that very slow one. As we see, Infinite is on 7, so now just has to head to Forlorn, has to go grab that Forlorn TP, and Turtle is tracking down the Misty one, as well as we'll have to get to Sorrow as well as Horu, which aren't too bad checks. So honestly, like, this is like still pretty close with how things turned out. I think what really spelled it out is how long Liftoff and Sirius had without that Forlorn TP, but they were able to keep their wits about them and track down some areas that they did not go to yet that had a little bit of density, and said, hey, let's check horror fields, and there it was.
Yeah, there's going to be end time 46-44 for Sirius in the bottom right, as Infinite in the top left, finishing out 8 out of 8 relics. Liftoff, meanwhile, is going to be working through R3 to collect their final relic in order to be able to join their teammate within the final escape itself. So Infinite in the top left, eyes on that as they are now going to be heading into the final escape, but also Turtle is going to be very low on health, very low on energy as they are going to be working towards their Misty Relic.
Yeah, this is always just a stressful time because it looks like Infinite will actually finish before. So now it's like for both teams, it's like, oh god, we've had one bad person from each team finish. Who's going to be the second team that finish up?
Yeah, indeed. So Infinite in the top left is now going to be working through, setting up for a grenade jump. Nicely done, able to get through that first room. Now in the lantern room, once again, cannot bash off these lanterns. Nicely done, beats out the lava spout. As now into the elemental room, they are going to be using charge dash as well. Nice grenade jump there to be able to work through the elemental room. Now all that's between them is one final section, as there is going to be a grenade jump in here that can end up soft locking, requiring Infinite to be able to have to go back and restart the final escape. So Infinite coming up, they're going to be charge jumping up, doing another charge jump, and coming over. Woohoo! Nice dodge there on the Sigma Rock as Infinite setting up, able to get through first try. So Infinite is going to be finishing in second place, but wow, Liftoff is just so far ahead of Turtle, so this is absolutely going to be a victory for Bizarre Adventurers if Liftoff can nail the execution.
Yeah, Turtle's having to just sit here watch this cutscene. There is a way to skip it. It's kind of a weird one, not your normal kind of rekindle skipping cutscene there. So it's just going to wait for the Gumon Steel to just float on down. And meanwhile, in the top right, we're now seeing Liftoff's final escape with more and more grenade jumps. We love this. We're seeing grenade jump final escapes from every runner today. This is, I mean, Muffin, you're commentating this, so it couldn't have worked out more perfectly here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the early clean water and grenade jumps in a seed, that's like the most beautiful way to lay the lands for this caster combo. But here we go. Liftoff in the top right is going to be coming through the swim section. Nicely done taking out those fish. Has plenty of health to spare with working through that section. So now Liftoff going to be charge jumping up, and now they are going to be setting up for that final grenade jump. This is it. One sequence of inputs that separates Team Bizarre Adventurers from going up to the 3-0. Liftoff setting up in a comfortable spot. And is it good? It is. Beautiful stuff. That is it, folks. That is going to be the first team of the tournament to be able to walk away with that 3-0. Grenade jumps. No bash in sight, but you know what? Nothing but Bizarre Adventurers going on for Bizarre Adventurers themselves, as they are going to be walking away with the win here today. What an incredible race, Queen. I cannot believe it. We got the perfect cast, the perfect seed to be able to showcase off two of the top teams of this tournament so far.
The seed generator knew what it wanted today. It wanted just action-packed from top to bottom and just amazing performances from everyone, really. Like, again, just the only small thing is that, yeah, the Horde teleporter play from Bizarre Adventures was big, as well as just that say, hey, we're gonna push for left side as soon as possible there, and did it with the kind of dash, stomp, as well as the rocket jumping up to break the Kuro rocks.
Yeah, indeed. Beautiful stuff. And I mean, we have one runner left that is still going. Turtle on 7 out of 8 relics, right? Like, this is so close. Like, I mean, just look at the timers and the corners of the screen, right? We see a 46.44 out of Sirius, a 50.07 out of Liftoff, and a 49.08. And like, Infinite Turtles just needs that like last relic for TurtleRun itself, as they are like beelining for some additional checks. And like, it's just like, it's so incredibly close. Like, Turtle is literally like 3 minutes away from finishing out the seed. I cannot believe it. This matchup was so good. So yes, Bizarre Adventurers walking away from the win, but honestly, this match could have gone the other way. If they hadn't found that last Gumon Seal shard in Horu Fields clean, like, this was so incredibly close just from that alone. This race could have gone the other way on a coin flip. Incredible. Yeah,
you said it best. And what Turtle was doing there was actually tracking down Wind Restore. That was great knowledge of Infinite to relay that information that, hey, Wind was on BAP 4 of all things, so doesn't have to do any more grenade jump shenanigans to get up into Sorrow proper. But he's still pulling them out there. Turtle, I'm so proud.
Yeah, just incredible stuff. It's so great to see. I just really appreciate Turtle putting on a great show, especially. I mean, like 4 HP. Turtle only has 4 HP. They only tracked down 1 health cell in this entire seed. Like, hundreds of pickups. They, like, each runner cleared like about like half of the map, right? In terms of like pickups. So just only getting 1 health cell and being able to push out a time like this, unbelievably impressive. Like, Turtle is just playing so incredibly well today. It's so impressive to see.
Yeah, you said it best. This was amazing from start to finish. I mean, how we're able to track down the potential dash find with what we were seeing with Stomp, as well as the ability cells. And then what really set it off was just the charge jump in Outer Swamp Loop of all things, as well as Valley Tour just in Grove Main. And again, that was just the story of the seed. We had no relics in like the big right side areas, and the question was, how long do you dig in those areas without a relic? And I think for both runners, both teams, they played it well, but I think Bizarre Adventures just were the ones that said, we're gonna just get the base and then we're gonna go.
I actually really like this decision to go up to Ultra Defense for Turtle because, yeah, they're on 4 HP. Like, those fish, even though they have clean water, those fish can, like, ruin a good run. So Turtle just taking an extra moment to be able to go up on Ultra Defense, and here we go. Clean Turtle now is going to be starting their attempts at the final escape, and without Bash and with manual grenade jumps, they are going to be working through. So here we go. Turtle coming through, going to be using charge jump to be able to get some additional height, and then using dash to get through. Stomps the floor. So here we go. This is the first difficult room for Turtle. They're setting up for the grenade jump. Doesn't get the input. This is a frame perfect timing. And oh no, they hit the lava spout, so they are going to have to come in for another attempt.
I'm 4 health. This is
4 health.
I just don't know how this has happened. Oh my goodness, but did get Ultra Defense, so he's going for the top route. This is it's the wall there. That's really well done. Has to go for, okay, he's gonna take the one. Okay, he can take a damage boost. He's okay. Does Turtle have any health regen? I don't think so.
No!
Has 1 hit. Don't get Sigma Rock, please.
Don't touch the fish! No! No, don't hug! Don't hug Turtle! Turtle is a very kind person, and they like hugs, but not from those fish there. They're able to get through the swim, as now they are going to be heading up in this final leg of the escape sequence itself, as nicely done charge jumping up. Oh, they are going for that grenade jump, so frame perfect input. Turtle gets it. Let's go. Nicely done. Very impressive final escape from Turtle, walking away from a loss, but folks, this was a 2-0 match coming into it, so even though Infinite Turtles takes a loss, they are at a record of 2-1. So if they win their round 4 match, they could potentially qualify for brackets. So very impressive stuff from both teams, but Bizarre Adventurers walking away with a 3-0. As I'm honestly, Clean, I'm super excited for the interview segment. I hope we are able to get all 4 runners, both teams into the interview. But still, even the interviews are always optional. They are not required to do an interview. Just very impressive stuff, as Turtle is going to be crossing the finish line with an official time of 55:25. GG. And I am so excited to talk to the runners. Clean, what a scene! This was such an incredible race.
It has to be one of our closest time difference. I don't know the specifics, but it's got to be like a less than 4 minutes of average. Like, that's just insane. And I think we'll definitely be getting all the runners in here for an interview. Just a quick second.
Oh, heck yes. And that being said, it does look like we are joined with runners. My Discord might be dying, but that's okay because our runners are looking live. GG's, my friends. Very impressive race. That was so amazing.
Thank you.
GG, everyone.
GG.
Yeah, GG.
Muffin, you start first. ask some questions.
All right. I mean, come on. Stop being gated by Dash, folks. What were you thinking? Why don't we start with Bizarre Adventurers, right? Were you just immediately deciding get somebody into Grotto because you had that stomp to be able to go through, or set up for Frankie Walk to be able to get access to right side? Or was it just, yeah, let's all go in the linear fashion to get Dash? Because Dash was like pretty obviously going to be on the right side and be early in logic. So starting with Sirius and Liftoff.
Well, I did BRB, and I thought about going into Grotto, even though there wasn't any relics there, because just like Grotto is almost always worth it. But because I knew that it wasn't logical to actually be in the position to stomp that peg, I wanted to finish out the glades and associated areas clear, and Dash turned out to be there. It was the last picker that I actually checked, So that was kind of unfortunate, but I guess there's no real way to know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, no, great stuff. I mean, in Sirius, like, that setup for Frankie Walk, was it just like, oh, my XP is in a nice spot, I'm going to set up for Frankie Walk? Or did you know ahead of time that you wanted to just make that play for right side access?
There was a consideration for both of us to go through Spirit Caverns, just because it was evident that there had to be progression there, and it was likely to be dash. So it was very short-term routing. We figured, okay, it's likely to be dash, but it could also be a grotto teleporter, and in that case, we would be in a way better spot if I Frankie Walk. And no, the rest was improvised. I checked the experience, and every slime drops 12 in Blackroot, so it's not too difficult to set up.
Awesome. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I was thinking along the same line. So Infinite Turtles, over to you folks. Like, just really impressive stuff once again. What was sort of like the deciding factor to be able to like push for left side? Was it finding that glide in Ginso itself? And like with Wind Restored on like the map turn-ins? Or was there just like, you were just looking for like bash on the right side of the map? Talk me through that.
I think it was G-jumps, actually. We knew we had one of the left side teleporters, and it was Valley, but doing Valley and Sorrow without being able to skip the kill plane is a pain. But then as soon as we got G-jumps, it's like, oh, we can do fun things. Yeah. Let's start breaking into left side because every relic is over there. So.
Yeah. How about for you, Infinite? What was that entire routing?
Yeah, I was ready to go left side after I got the grenade jumps, but then I saw that Turtle got the glide in the Ginso, so I thought, it's gonna be nice for Sorrow to get it first. Yeah. So I got the glide and then went to the left side.
Yeah. Interesting that you guys went to Horo and found grenade fairly early then, I guess.
Yeah, that's actually a question I wanted to ask Infant. What was the decision there? You know, talking through communicating with Turtle. What was the decision to go to Horu that early?
Well, yeah, we played and we saw so many seeds where there was just a skill super early in Horu somewhere. So with the Sunstone Shards and the, I think, logical ability to go to Horu, we just decided to let's give it a try. And also, if we're gonna win against Sirius and Liftoff, we have to do something unexpected.
Yeah, that grenade part was insane. I was like, what? Oh my goodness, that was such a treat. And Sirius did, I think, eventually find it a couple good few minutes after, but that was just still so funny at the moment. My next question I want to bring over to Liftoff. Talk me through communicating with Sirius when you were in your first trek through Misty. You had 3 checks left, but you didn't have grenade, you didn't have enough keystones, and that ability cell is just such a mess to get to without grenade jumps.
Yeah, I know that if I had climb at that point, I know there's an updash setup you can do to get it. But I wasn't sure if it was possible with what I was trying at that moment. So I figured there's a 1 in 3 chance that this is the relic. So there's a good chance I have to come back to Misty anyway. Let's just cut my losses at this point, and it turned out to be the correct decision, even in this case. But of course, hedging your bets and going with the most likely correct play is always the correct decision.
No, yeah, that totally made sense. You know, Sirius was already entering left side and said, "Hey, I'll take over. You go somewhere else." And then, that was a great thing to see. And then. For Liftoff Sirius, a question I have is about the Gumon Seal Shards. One of the big things of, the final parts of this race, what were you looking for? And, what were you guys prioritizing or communicating? You're like, hey, what areas do we need to go for next? And potentially find that access for Forlorn.
I don't think we picked up on any pointers in the seed that could suggest which areas have Gumon Seal Shards, so it was purely a consideration of density. And because I'm the Sense player, there's usually a consideration where I want to do the Gumon Seal Shard dig, while Liftoff does. In this case, it was a backtrack through Misty. Usually you wouldn't want to do the relic backtracks until as late as possible, but in this specific scenario where one player has Sense, it can make sense to do backtracks earlier than usual to leave the digging to the Sense player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that totally makes sense. And so I'll say just one more thing before I pass it over to Muffin. Just something really funny because I did roll this seed, so I was looking at the spoiler just now. So you guys found the relic Horu in R3, right? The cutscene. Right below you at the plant was Bash.
Oh, really?
Oh wow!
That's amazing.
To be clean.
Yep, I had to do it. It had to be done. Oh my goodness, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you folks watch this race back because it was
definitely will.
absolutely, it was incredible. Like the race was a lot closer than you may have thought. So I guess like a final one closing question for both of the teams. Why don't we start with Bizarre Adventurers? So yeah, that last find, right? That Gumon seal shard. How do you sort of weight like checking areas as you're going into the end of a seed, right? You found all the relics except for Forlorn, but just looking for that Forlorn aspect. Like just talk me through sort of how you ended up strategizing that routing. I guess starting with Sirius.
Well, it's very difficult while having a speedy skill set and being at the end of a seed to truly figure out the most optimal choices. Honestly, the priority is to just not have downtime. Like, always have some idea while you're in the current area, which area you're going to go to next. Even if it's not the optimal one at that state, that's just better than sitting in the map and figuring out the optimal one.
Yeah, I like that. How about for you, Liftoff? How do you sort of like strategize on that?
It's a similar consideration. I try to like keep in mind areas while I'm playing through a seed. I try to keep in mind areas that I usually check that I may have skipped the seed for some reason or another, and we were brainstorming a little what were like dense areas. Like for example, Grotto Right. We never went there. I think Sirius did the mini boss, and that's it. So I just kind of try to have in the back of my head a number of areas that are like better than one-offs that I still need to check, right? And then and then what Sirius said, it's like it's better to go for the third best play immediately than for the best play after half a minute of thinking about it.
Right.
Yeah. Just always be checking something, even if it's not the best play, it might be the best play in this current situation because what you're looking for is right there.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. I like that a lot. So I guess a question for Turtle: what is a health cell?
Yes, that is probably the lowest health I've ever had in an entire career of Ori randomizer running, and I hated it. God, that sucked.
Yeah. So I mean, on a more direct note, like walking away with a loss here, still have a record of 2-1. So I'm still alive in the tournament. Very awesome stuff. Going into the final round of Swiss, are you folks doing any sort of like considerations, like in terms of like practice? Or are you just gonna like show up and play some Ori and have fun? I guess starting with Turtle, because I got you talking.
Well, apparently I need to practice G jumps again. I couldn't hit those for crap either. Like. But otherwise, yeah, just have fun. That's all that matters in the end.
Awesome. Yeah. How about for you, Infinite? Are you like going to be doing anything different, or are you just going to show up on match day?
No, yeah, I think just show up on the match day. But
Cool.
Let's just have fun. I'm gonna do the Rando League seed, but other than that, I don't think I'm gonna play too much.
Cool. Awesome. Well, very impressive stuff. Honestly, probably the closest race of the entire tournament so far. So GG's to both Bizarre Adventurers and Infinite Turtles. Really excited to see what they bring for that fourth round of Swiss. And folks, we are not done with Ori action. We are going to be having another race almost immediately after in about, I want to say half an hour from now. Oh, like 40 minutes from now, which is going to be Twice a Baguette versus Free Leaf Emoji. And folks, that is going to be a match that you aren't going to want to miss because both are coming into this third round of Swiss with a score of 1-1. So very important in order to be able to take a win. One team is definitely not going to be capable of qualifying for the bracket stage by taking a loss in that matchup. So that is going to be an incredibly important matchup for the state of the tournament itself. But that being said, we had an amazing crew here on the cast today. I'm Covert Muffin. I was joined by Clean Phil on the comms, but also major thanks to Apple Tree for the restream action, Sarah Barron as well as Fupio for the helps with the stats and the info as we were progressing through the seed. And from all of us here from the Ori and the Blind Forest speedrunning community, thank you so much for watching this cast, and stay tuned. We'll see you in about 40 minutes for the next match. GG.